Last time on Behind the Brew. So to be really honest, I started Flagship because I started combing my hair. Flagship started in the year 2014. My wife and I had just got married, and we were really trying to settle our feet down and get used to the married life. And so with that came extra expenses, things like that. But what I needed to do was find something that I could be creative in and really take the time to pour my heart into, and that's what I've been able to do with Flagship. Then out on the market started coming these things called unorthodox water-based pomades, and so whenever we saw that was something coming, started doing more research, started figuring out what would be needed to do that. What came next was a tweaking and a refining to create one of our best-selling products now, which is Flagship. A similar story to what happened with Insubmersible to Flagship. We had Insubmersible that transitioned into Flagship, the more refined option. And so in this case, we had Prelude, and that's what gave birth to Dead Sea Clay. So at this point in Flagship's history, Flagship's been doing really well. Like we said, we had worked with the Pomp, coming out with the Prelude, which was a massive success. That was one of the largest weekend sales I'd ever had in my entire life. And so then, once again, we needed something for Flagship. That was the Pomp's product. That was for him. We needed something for our line. And so that's whenever Dead Sea Clay became our next focus. The problem is I made Dead Sea Clay in like 2 batches, so... So we had taken the idea of having Prelude, which was honestly making an unorthodox water-based pomade, adding some clay, give it those characteristics of a clay-like product, texturized, things like that. And so Dead Sea Clay was the next step for us in that process. And at that point, we had actually transitioned from Little Rock down to the Houston area, which is where I'm from. I grew up down here, and so it was good to finally get home, get our roots settled back down, and with that allowed me to have a new brewing space, at which point we were able to, I was really able to take my stuff out of the kitchen, which my wife was very happy about, and have a designated brewing space. And so we settled in an area called Webster, Texas, down south going towards Galveston. What we were able to do is then really start to focus on multiple recipes. At the same time, we released the Steel Horse line. We had Steel Horse oil-based. In the midst of all this, Steel Horse water-based, which both products that we still carry, they were a little bit of a deviation from what we had been kind of working towards. But then Dead Sea Clay seemed like the next thing that we really needed to focus on. And so we took that same concept that we had with Prelude of an unorthodox water-based pomade, different clays added. We wanted to really refine the process, make a higher quality product, final result, and also really make sure that there was a clear delineation between the two products. And so what that meant is we needed to look for different clays, look for different mediums within the water base. So in this case, we went a different direction than we had originally with Prelude. And so that really gets us down to what are the ingredients. And so with that, once again, it's a water-based product. Water, primary ingredient, distilled water is what we use. Once again, helps keep the product free of any foreign minerals, things like that. Moving into our clays, because clay is really what gives it the majority of its hold. We, of course, continue to use kaolin, but what we decided is instead of using bentonite, which bentonite is a coarser clay, it's a little bit larger micron size, so you get rougher texture. Can honestly be a little bit tough on the hair at times, in the sense that it can add tug and pull. We decided to go with a smaller clay as well, which is sea clay, and that one brought a wonderful set of ingredients to it as well, which was the minerals and everything. This comes from the Dead Sea, and so of course, just like the sea salt that we use, it provides a lot of added benefits to the scalp and the hair itself. We continue the same idea of wanting a resilient product though. So what we needed was, once again, that wax backing. So we use Candelilla wax in that, which is, again, very brittle, high melting point, provides a nice solid hold that doesn't lose anything in the midst of the heat and humidity that, once again, Houston is known for. We did, once again, change the medium though. We had just used oils and coconut and stuff like that for Prelude. And so this one we decided to use Shea Butter. And Shea Butter we use in quite a few different products now, but that has so many benefits for the hair, for the skin. It's moisturizing. It also is very smooth, especially if it's blended at the right proportions to your recipe, and so it adds a really nice scoop to the product. We also started using a type of jelly called castor jelly. Since then, we've kind of moved towards using Peg 40 because it adds even better scoopability without sacrificing any hold. But that helps not only with the scoopability and ease of use and application, but it also allows it to rinse out with water. Past that, we still use the sunflower lecithin, which is a necessary part of the product, and that it helps emulsify. We bring borax and sea salt together in the recipe as well for the fact that it's necessary to cause the emulsion, but it's pretty much to allow it to rinse out easier with shampoo, as well as provide the minerals and things like that that the sea salt offers. We, once again, went with fragrances originally that we felt were going to stay in true form to what Flagship was, which was trying to be natural as possible. And so we made essential oil blends. We thought that, you know, with both the sea clay and the Dead Sea salt that's in the product coming from that area of the world, that we could look at really creating a fragrance that has similar notes that you would think of from that area. And finally, the last thing that we put in with our fragrance is, once again, our preservative, which is phenoxyethanol, sorbic acid, and caprylyl glycol, which help make sure that it has stability and shelf life whenever you purchase it. And with actually making it, it really wasn't that difficult coming from already making that product, Prelude, because it's honestly, once you get the base formula for the unorthodox water base, make sure it sticks together, throw the appropriate clays in there, and you have yourself a really solid product. And so that's what we were able to do with the Dead Sea clay. Honestly, we were able to nail down a good formula within about 2 batches. It was just a matter of finding what we didn't like as our base point, what areas we wanted to tweak, and that's really something even now we do, because we make so many different types of products, and for us and other people, is find that baseline and then from there make adjustments to create a finalized product. And so with the Dead Sea clay, it only took us probably 2 batches, and we had a product that we were ready to present to the public. So with all those put together, that created this daily driver clay is what I've often heard it said to be. It's a firm hold. Very resilient when it comes to dealing with the elements, humidity, heat, things like that. Other thing is too, the finish is a little bit more matte and concerns to how you end up. You can finger comb if you use small amounts. You can still get slick styling as well though, but in that it's more natural, and so that's really what Dead Sea Clay provides. It's an all-around very solid product for just about any type of hairstyle. That being said, it was extremely successful, and it still is. It's probably our third most successful product of all time. With the evolution of the company and having to take on new ingredients and new recipes and things like that, working with different companies, working with different collaborations, all of that, it's really brought us to a place now that I never thought Flagship would go.